Well, fishers, we've got a reasonable report in some areas and very, very poor in others. She's a real mixed bag this week. We're getting good reports from Dartmouth still. The best report I got this week was a gentleman who spent a couple of hours trolling with a Ford fender and a yellow crick hopper around the point of 8 Mile looking for schools of water daphne or water flea. That's what the fish are feeding on at the moment down there. And he picked up 5 nice trout, about a kilo plus. These fish are sure to be reasonably active down there at the moment. So most people going down there and getting a few fish, so it doesn't look too bad at Dart. So if you put in a bit of time, you should get some good results. I'd also suggest probably doing a little bit of fishing with a worm under a bubble float down there. I think you might do okay. The real disappointment has been, as we all know, the trout streams in Victoria opened up last weekend, and look, I tell you what, there's virtually nothing in them at the moment. Now I hope that somebody proves me wrong and tells us that they're getting some really good reports from some areas, but all the blokes I spoke to either got one fish, no fish, or just basically couldn't find any fish in the streams at all. Now that's a real disaster, and we're a bit nervous about that actually. Hope it's not going to be a poor season in our streams when they open up. I'm sure the Chimney River will be okay, but we'll cross our fingers on that one anyway. And on a brighter note, the Hume Weir is quite good. We're really happy with the Hume Weir. Lots of yellow belly coming out of it, some good sized yellows and some excellent sized redfin up to about 45 centimetre. Now these fish are being caught on the troll predominantly, but there also is a few getting caught on vibes, blades, that sort of thing on the cast as well. Haven't heard of too many on bait this week, but not to say they weren't getting caught on bait, just I didn't hear of it. But yeah, it's very productive at the moment. The river below the Hume Weir, it's really firing at the moment. Right below, directly below the weir itself, some monster trout. 4.5 kilos, the biggest one, and that was actually last night. These fish are being caught on blades, tassies, any of those sort of type of lures because there's a bit of current flow there. It dropped a little bit and it's flowed down a bit, but the fishing is still excellent there. And most blokes are getting their 2 or 3 for the evening down there. Some are only getting 1, some none, but the majority of the people who fish it on a regular basis are getting their fair share of trout. Mainly big brown trout, occasional rainbow, but majority of it's big brown, so that looks good. No decent reports from Mulwala, the occasional fish on bait, and that's about all, so it's still on the dead mark, not much happening there at all. Murrumbidgee River, as you can see, we're right on the river at the moment, and it just looks magnificent. We are blessed here, I tell you. The river's clean, it's really fishable at the moment, although in saying that, last week was a little bit on the slow side, but the way it looks now, I reckon it'll be fantastic. Actually, I didn't even stick my finger in to see if it was cold, but I would say it's reasonably cool, and as soon as it warms up a little bit, it's really going to fire. Old Man Creek's not too bad, a little bit off the bank with bait. Haven't heard of too much on lures in the creek. Surface lure action should start very, very shortly. Blowring's dead, nothing much happening there. Talbingo's pretty quiet, not a lot of activity there at all. Our top lakes, Yukonbean, Jindabyne, they're all fishing quite well at the moment. Off the bank with bait is excellent. Scrubworms in particular are good. Barty grubs or little wood grubs are quite good up there as well, but don't forget the power bait. You can't go up without power bait. And they're getting a good feed of yabbies out of Yukonbean at the moment too. Didn't get a report from Tentangra, but that'll happen in the next week or so, I can assure you. Burrinjuck was a bit quiet last weekend, but it's only just a spot in the sort of calendar. Over the next week or so, I think we'll find it'll really fire up reasonably well. Getting a few yellers out of it prior to the last weekend, and I reckon it'll fire up again. If we get a few more days of warm weather, we get some great action out of there. Don't forget it is closed season for cod. The other thing I need to mention, we've got the Rise Film Festival on this Sunday. It's at the Forum Cinema 6 Theatre. It's from 7 till 9. This is your last chance to come and grab tickets at the shop or book them online, and I kid you not, this is one not to miss. It's the most incredible film of fishing footage you've ever seen. Well, this is the Complete English Fishing Report. We'll catch you next week.